to Awesomism podcast. We are super excited today. We have a really big announcement. So I'll let Chris introduce himself in a minute. This is Chris Apple from Bulls BBQ. And thank you, Zelina Hall, for your awesome music. Oh, and by the way, Chris will be playing some of Zelina's songs in his stories on Instagram. So make sure you check out his Instagram. That's my initial plug for him and Zelina. Okay, so now on to Chris. Take it, Chris.
All right, my name is Chris Apple. I'm the owner of Bulls BBQ, and we make all natural rubs and seasonings, but it didn't start there. For me, I've been an entrepreneur since I was about 14, 15 years old, growing up in Philadelphia. I had an affinity for hip hop. I started doing hip hop music. I had a couple people around the neighborhood and, just people I knew that we would do music together. And I kind of grew a foundation for business there. And it wasn't until about 2 years ago when I was 27 that I wanted to actually go forward and start an LLC and a real business. And I figured food, and specifically for me, barbecue was the biggest way for me to connect myself to more people and make something of myself in a business setting. So, I started in backyards, got to a commissary, was doing takeout. That developed into a restaurant setting. And then the virus came over and just capacity in bars and stuff was down. So I was like, what do I do next? And I started thinking how much I love barbecue and how much that it's, provided me. I want to give back to the people an all natural product that they could really grasp onto and that they could share with their families. And you and Peyton are a great, a good display of that. So it's nice to see. And I'm just glad to be on the podcast. So thank you.
Oh, well, we love you, Chris, and I love your Instagram. And for those of you who didn't hear our other podcast, let me give you a real briefing how we met Chris. My husband loves his Traeger grill, and my husband loves to smoke ribs and brisket and everything else, and he's always on that Traeger grill. Now he's home from the rig. He used to be out on an oil rig, but due to COVID, that's all changed. But anyway, so I put something out, and you commented. And then we started talking, and one thing led to another. And I realized that this guy is what it is. I mean, he's the true definition of an entrepreneur. He works so hard. I mean, it just blows me away. Like I told you, I'll look at the top of my storyline and I'll, look at your stuff. And then I'll go to a few more. And then all of a sudden you're back up as I'm there. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, I looked at his stuff. He should be at the end of the stories. And it's you put a new one out. And I'm like, I like this kid. I like people that hustle. I like it. You're not afraid. And I thought, okay, I'm going to connect with him. And one thing led to another, and we started talking. And one of the things that we talked about was taking your rubs to a much bigger audience in several different ways. One being taking it international, which we're working on right now. And we've been getting all kinds of connections on that. And we're getting really good interest on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's been really good. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this podcast and you're on Clubhouse, I want to tell you about 2 big Clubhouse times. Friday afternoon, 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern. Chris and I have Grill and Chillin' and Awesomism. Please join us. We'd love to have you in it.
Absolutely.
And the other one is on Tuesday morning at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern Time, where we talk with the guys from Dubai and Bahrain and Saudi and Kuwait about bringing our stuff over there and other American products. So if you're an American small business, you need to hook up with me and Chris, because we'll help you get connected with those guys over there who are legitimate and will help you take your business international. So make sure that you join us on Clubhouse. And if you're not on Clubhouse and you have an Apple phone and you want to get on Clubhouse, reach out to me because I've got a few extra invites. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about something real quick. Chris knows that Peyton is autistic, and we talked about this. So Chris came up with a fantastic idea, and I'm going to let him tell it.
All right. So me and Lynn have talked a lot about, her passion and her drive for her Awesomism movement, how Peyton is an autistic adult, and just how much he does in a day. That's phenomenal. And you know, I figure like there's so many more like him that I'm sure just aren't getting the spotlight they deserve. And I figured, you know what? Peyton loves Tex-Mex. You guys are from that area. How about, you know, we bring him aboard and make him an ambassador specifically for the Tex-Mex rub taco uppercut. And I'd love to see what he can do with it. And I think that's a good starting point for, you know, really pushing the needle forward for, you know, just putting a spotlight on autistic adults and the fact that they can do amazing things too. And a lot of them, they need that spotlight. They need you know, they need that push.
I agree. And you know, one of the things you and I talked about was how, you know, when people are sitting around a table and eating good food, how, you know, people tend to relax, they tend to open up, they tend to be more, you know, content, and so they talk. And when, you know, good food leads to good conversations, and, you know, Isaiah Washington always, you know, he had that show on Fox that talked about, you know, good food leads to good,
Yeah.
you know, talking and connectivity. And what better way to help truly spread autism awareness, autism acceptance, and autism activism, which I'm about all three of those A's, not just awareness, because a lot of people are aware of autism, but they need to learn to accept autism and be more proactive in helping autistic adults get jobs, go to school, you know, get accepted, not be bullied, etc. And so, and find the needs that are there. And so over great food, it is the perfect time. And your rubs make food phenomenal. And now we want people, we're going to challenge people. We're going to have really cool challenges throughout the year and stuff. Challenge people. Invite an autism family over. If you know somebody that has an autistic adult, or you know an autistic adult, invite them over. Use our rubs. Use Chris's rubs. Listen to me. Our Chris's rubs, and especially watch Peyton's recipes and Peyton's cooking and Peyton's barbecuing with all the recipes. Invite them over. Have that conversation, because you know what? For every one person that learns more about autism, that's really 10 people, because they go tell other people.
Yeah.
We can really make a difference with this.
Yeah, it's a ground zero moment, you know. It's a good place for everyone to meet and say, okay, this is something that we can find common ground in, and we can move the conversation forward. And, you know, by the time you get to the other side of the meal or whatever the recipe, you'll be like, wow, I'm so enlightened on something that I should have been. And we got to get there through great food, great conversation, and just having a better understanding. Food has the power to bring people together, especially barbecue, and especially where you guys are from, Tex-Mex. So I think it's the perfect way to go about this. And yeah, I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to bring them aboard, and I'm glad to just really to be in the position to do it. So I'm excited for it, really.
Oh, what do you think, Peyton?
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Are you happy about it?
Yeah, very.
And tell us a little bit more, Clint. What do you like to cook?
Yes, I do. I love it. Like to make hot dogs, hamburgers, mac and cheese.
Scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs, yeah, pancakes, and oatmeal, everything. You name it.
Yeah, and you like tacos too, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yum.
Yeah, and what's your favorite? What's the thing you always ask for when Dad's gone? And I would say, I can't.
Enchiladas.
Yes, see, that's his favorite, enchiladas. He loves it. Yes, he loves
Enchiladas are amazing. I can't blame you there.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun watching Peyton take that recipe and add the taco uppercut to that. I mean, there's so many things that, you know, even, okay, as silly as this sounds, even, well, he could do it in his scrambled eggs, but you know what? You make pancakes with a taco uppercut in scrambled eggs, you know, you're adding spice to it. You're just, there's so many things we can do with this now. Huh?
Oh, absolutely.
And you
Could
know
put
what
it
else?
in your eggs, whatever. Yeah, I mean, anything that you get that itch for that Tex-Mex taste, just sprinkle it on something, and you're ready to rock. It's gonna be good.
Peyton loves vegetables too. You want to see vegetables?
Yeah.
So now I don't have to cut
Literally.
all that up. We can just put the taco uppercut on it and you'll be the happiest kid.
Yeah, corn's my favorite vegetable.
Yeah, he loves corn. This kid would eat corn
Oh
all day.
yeah.
Yeah.
You ever had
Busy, huh?
elotes?
What's that?
Elotes. It's like Mexican street corn. They basically take either corn on the cob or they kind of cut the corn up and it's like a bowl, like sour cream, chili on top. Oh yeah,
that
it's
sounds
almost
good.
like making French fries, like loaded French fries, but out of corn. Or they just do it right on the cob. But like it's like a thing in SoCal. It's pretty amazing. I think you'd love that. I'm sure they do it in Texas. You could look a recipe up. I'm sure, for sure.
Yeah, Peyton's gonna be looking up recipes now.
You got some elotes in your future, I feel.
I feel so too. And I'll tell you something else. I know when you'll be putting this on French fries. We love to have French fries with different flavorings, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, the sky's the limit. We're going to be having so many cool things with this.
Yeah.
Here's another cool plug, and Peyton will love this. He knows us. We just told him this, but we'll tell him again. You know whose music he plays? Whose music does he play in some of his Instagram stories?
Selena?
Yeah, Zelina, and who else? Who's your favorite person? Peyton, who's your favorite Florida State football
Oh,
player?
Big E, Ever Dawkins.
Wait,
Yes.
how can you forget this? He writes an entire blog called My Hero, and he's
yeah.
sitting here trying to. Yeah, no, he has. Like for those of you who are listening, go to A1 Doc. That's
A1 Doc.
DAWK. It's got a
Please
bunch
do.
of music out. Yes, and let me tell you something. Go to my website. Look up the blog written My Hero. How many years ago did you write that?
It was 6 years ago.
6 years ago. His hero. Wow, he has been in our life a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
awesome. And you play his music. I mean, my point in saying all this is connectivity. This is
And it came through
networking.
food. And it
Yes.
came through food. So
Yes.
there you go.
Exactly. That's
We're just
exactly right.
expanding. Yeah.
Yes. And you're going to be working with, Peyton's older brother, with the F Body Nation,
Oh,
all the
yeah.
car guys.
All the
You
beer
guys-
guys will love that.
Yes, I know. This is going to be so, because, Paul's got the big beard too.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is so, this is my point. There's connectivity. And while we're having these amazing conversations and we're talking and we're listening to music and we're grilling and coming out with all these awesome recipes, we can be making other people aware of autism.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
huge.
It is huge. And we're so excited to team up with you, Chris.
I'm excited to have you guys. I think that it's a great opportunity for all of us. I mean, it's an awesome thing. It's amazing. And I think that, again, it's the best way to spark the conversation, because who the heck doesn't like good food? So here we are. It's perfect. It's a perfect way.
And food is a worldwide connector. Everybody
Sure it
eats
is.
all around the world. Other items may be just American or just Middle East or just, other areas, but food is worldwide.
Yeah. Yep. That's why it's the perfect thing, because there's nobody we can't reach with this cause, because we can get food to anybody. So I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think that it's something that nobody's thought about, but me and you have talked about it as well. It's not about being in the box. It's about thinking outside. But that's how you really push the envelope. And I think we're going to break it wide open. I know we're going to break it wide open. So I'm glad to have you guys. And I appreciate you.
Oh, well, we appreciate you. Peyton's excited. When I told Peyton about it, he was so excited. His little face
Love
lit
it.
up. Yeah. He loves it. Because you know what? Peyton is as passionate as I am about turning autism into awesomism. That's our motto, is to turn. And I really honestly believe that we cannot turn autism into awesomism until more people really play an active role in being active in acceptance. And that's why I always say, I love autism awareness, but so many people know autism, but they don't necessarily accept it or aren't active in accepting it or active in helping with it. And I think that taking this the way we are is just going to open up floodgates of conversation.
For sure. For sure. I understand that I have a voice and people listen. And how many guys that are 6 foot tall with beards that cook, they're probably just ignorant to it. Maybe they have nobody that they've ever known, or they have no awareness, or they've never been in position to really help. So as soon as we like really talked about this and really developed like this relationship, I was like, wow, like, you know what, if I say it or if I help and we put Peyton in a position to shine, it's going to put, you know, a lot of good things into motion, because people that were ignorant to it will start to spark that conversation, because we're already bonding over something we all understand, which is great barbecue, great food. And then, you know, great things can come from it, because people will really start to pay attention to all these things with autism, adult autism, and just the way that it needs all the three A's, as you say. So that's really important. And I think that, you know, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm excited to do it. And I know great things will come from it. So I'm just proud to be in that, you know, be in that position.
Thank you. I mean, I agree. And that, you know, and I think the thing that I have always been so passionate about is when people start learning about truly and being more active and accepting of it, they understand things like the high unemployment rate among them, the homelessness in the autism community, and not just autistic adults, but there's a lot of families that become homeless because the parents, you know, struggle to keep a job because their child has meltdowns at school. And so
Yeah.
they get laid off from their jobs, or as autistic adults, they have a meltdown, or they have a meltdown in a store. And so then somebody, you know, we had a neighbor, the police got called on him just because he was having a meltdown in the front yard. These are all the kind of topics, and the more people accept it, and the more people understand it, and the more people get active in being active about it, the less of these incidences. I mean, I just want to say this: in the last 3 days, I know of 3 autistic adults who were bullied, unbelievable, on Twitter. One of which is very personal to me. And I took it very personal and went back at these people because I stuck up for them. And some of the people went back at me like, who cares? And I'm just like, okay, are you ignorant to autism, or are you just ignorant? You
Probably
know?
both.
Yeah.
Probably both. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, and the thing is, I think the more that we open up these topics and the more people start understanding it, the more it's going to be one person bullying an autistic adult and 100 people shutting that one person down, not one
Right.
person against 100. And those are the numbers we need to do, because, you know, if there's one thing, and I say this all the time, that has been the biggest blessing for my children, my other 3 children and me, is we have all learned patience by having Peyton. And when you have patience and you have that unconditional love, because you realize you have to fight for him because he can't always fight for himself,
Right.
you tend to fight for other people too. And that's what I want to bring out. And that's why when you and I talked about this and you said, you know, brand ambassador, I thought, this is so beautiful, because it's just going to open up conversations. And you know what? I actually honestly hope people say to us, well, what does barbecue have to do with autism? Well, let me tell you, sit down and we've got something to talk about.
Right. Yeah, it's going to spark the conversation. It is. And then he's going to be excited and happy too, because, you know, he's going to be eating good food that he enjoys. And again, it's just going to be a natural, it's a natural meeting ground. You know, it's going to be awesome for sure. I think that it's going to be great. There's no doubt in my mind.
I agree.
And yeah, I'm very curious to see the amazing things Peyton's going to whip up. I'm thinking eggs for sure. That would be a great breakfast.
Oh yeah, eggs for sure. Because let me tell you, one morning I had such a horrible migraine. My husband was out on the road and my head hurt so bad. And I said to him, I don't know why, but the only thing I'm craving is eggs. And do you remember that? And he brought me in the most perfect scrambled eggs. Like, they were so fluffy. They were seasoned just right. And my head hurt so bad I couldn't eat, but I had to eat them because they were so amazing. Because this kid for some reason just really knows how to make scrambled eggs.
It's hard to perfect.
Yeah, he uses sour cream in it and he whips it just right. So
I
that
usually don't like sour cream, but I use that on the scrambled eggs.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I've never done that, so maybe that's the key I'm missing.
Yeah,
That's
and he
awesome.
whips them just right, so they
Yep.
get really big and fluffy, and then
Right.
he pours them in the pan. And he always heats the pan just right. Like me, I've always got it like burnt or something. Not
Yeah.
him, not him.
He's
You
got
know,
it dialed in.
yeah, and his siblings, his older siblings, when they come to visit, they're always like, Peyton, can you make me this? Peyton, can you make me that? Because he's such a good cook. I'm
Yeah.
serious,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yes.
Peyton, go make me a hamburger. And I always tell the older three, he's not here just to be your servant.
Right.
You
He's
know?
not your personal chef.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm like, come on. And they're like, but mom, he makes such great hamburgers. He has this ability to season things amazingly because he likes things really seasoned. So he seasons them just right. And I'm always like, but you know what's funny is that my husband, his stepdad, is an amazing cook. He's an amazing baker, an amazing cook. Could be a chef. I'm not kidding. He's such a good. So between the two of them, I can't even imagine what they're going to do with this taco uppercut because my husband is Tex-Mex. Like, okay, you think I'm joking when I tell you this? I kid you not. I will say to him, we should go on. This is gospel truth. Peyton will swear to this. I'll say we should go on vacations to such and such place. He'll be like, do they have nachos there? I'm like, of course.
Nachos.
Yeah, I'm serious.
That's crazy. That's serious dedication right there.
Yes. He'll be
Yeah.
like, do you think there's anywhere around there that has nachos? I'm like, we could go to the Bahamas, and he'd be like, I want nachos. I'm like,
Nachos.
I mean, I know when we went to Dubai, I took him to Dubai, and he's like, I wonder if they'll have any nachos over here. I'm like, who cares? We're eating Mediterranean food. I don't care about nachos.
Right. You can take them out of Texas, but can't take the Texas out of them. Yeah, that's what
That
it
is
seems
the
like.
truth.
Anywhere I'd go, I'd want a cheesesteak. So I can understand it.
Oh yeah, that is the truth. He's got that. Oh yeah, him and his brisket and his
Oh, yeah.
pulled pork sandwiches, and oh yeah, he is. And that's why I said to people, when I met him, I learned real quick what Tex-Mex was because I had lived in Florida around Cubanos, and our neighbors were from Cuba, and they owned a restaurant. They owned a Cuban restaurant, so they would make the Cuban sandwiches and the fried plantains, and my kids grew up eating that. So this was very different. And I mean, I sit here on a daily basis and yearn for a Cuban sandwich because that's more what I knew. So I come here and he's thrown out all these other things, and I'm like, hey, what? And he's like, horrified that I don't know this stuff.
Right. He's like, how don't you know about brisket or what,
Yeah.
How don't you know about enchiladas? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And he really was like, how did you, make it this far in your life without cooking these things?
Because that's his core right there. That's what he grew up on. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So we're good. We're excited about this, and we are super excited to work with you. And if anybody listening to this would like to see Peyton try some recipe with the taco uppercut, bring it to us, and let's just blow this wide open. And we will have on our website where you can order everything, or you can go to White Bulls BBQ. Please, please, please follow us on Clubhouse, White Bulls BBQ, Awesomism Mom. Follow both of us on Instagram.
Please do.
And follow Peyton Team Awesomism on Instagram. And we're on Twitter. White Bulls isn't on Twitter yet. We're trying to talk them into it. Yeah, we're trying to talk
I'll get over there.
Yep. But follow us and reach out to us. Email me, Lynn at Awesomism Mom, if you want more information, because please share this podcast with everybody. Seriously, because this is about a cause. And this is about taking food and helping raise awareness for something that is so important. Awareness, activism, and acceptance. Because you know what? The life you change by raising acceptance can make all the difference in the world, because you never know how hard of a struggle some of these autism families go through. I mean, anybody that follows me knows what Lloyd's family has gone through. And by the way, one of those autistic adults that was severely bullied was Lloyd. He was so bullied the other night, and it broke my heart. And when I jumped in, one jerk from Colorado, and I really feel like giving his Twitter name, but I won't. If you go on my tweet line, you'll see it. Literally said to me, "Oh, when, mommy doesn't like it if you bully him." After he knew he was an autistic adult, And I said to him, I'm not his mother. His mother just passed away, but thanks for being such a decent human being. You know,
Yeah,
And-
that's low. See, that's what we gotta do this for. We gotta cut that down to a minimum, if not
yes,
totally eliminate it, because there's just no place for that. And I'm sure those people are going through their own stuff, but there's just no excuse, you know?
yep, that's exactly right. More people need to start reflecting instead of deflecting. Reflect on your own
Absolutely.
pain instead of deflecting it to other people.
Yeah,
And I-
my
and
mission is to only project positivity. I think it can change the world. So
I do too.
we try to get more people on board with that ideology.
And we will, because
We will.
that's what our mission is, and that's what he's going to be a brand ambassador for, raising the awareness, the acceptance, and the activism. And good food
Absolutely.
starts good conversations. Don't ever
Yes, it
forget
does.
that.
Nope.
Thank you, Chris. We're
Thank you.
so
Thank you guys.
excited.
I'm glad to have you aboard, Peyton, and I'm excited to see where we can take this. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be
Sky's
awesome.
the limit.
Woohoo.
Sky's the limit.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. See you
Nice
guys.
meeting you.
Nice seeing you.